On the Iranian side, this is important in terms of their calculation of where we are. Again, in their perception, we are in a situation that there is a coordinated plan by the United States and Israel against us, in which, of course, the United States still has a lot to offer, which it has not brought on the table yet in terms of active participation. So the question would be, first, is it logical at this stage to escalate against the United States and invite an even stronger response by the United States and Israel? And the second question, which would kind of answer the first one as well, is that what would happen if we don't escalate? Is it not going to happen anyway? Is it not that at some point the United States will come in using their bunker busters to destroy what is left of Iranian nuclear facilities? So I think this is, again, one of the complexities that has, if not paralyzed, actually delayed decision-making on the Iranian side. So as I said, we still don't know how much damage has been inflicted to the Iranian missile silos and kind of missile stockpile. Even if we consider that the damage is not high, then it would be a matter of whether Iran can sustain a campaign of weeks of, for example, continuous massive missile strikes against the United States, how big the stockpile is. And here comes the US factor, because as far as I know, at least before the October 7, and I don't still see any sign of an actual revision of that military strategy. So the traditional thinking in the Iranian military circles has been that whatever happens, whether it is a war initiated by Israel or the United States, we will respond to both. And that response would involve the US bases in Iraq, but also around the Persian Gulf, in Kuwait, in Qatar, in Bahrain. So now the question, apart from how the US will respond, is that first, how is the situation, how this is going to be in terms of implications for Iranian allies in those countries, given all the domestic resistance against this quote-unquote resistance supported by Iran, And here comes, I would say there could be some level of credibility in the reports that that Hezbollah doesn't want to engage, because the costs for Hezbollah domestically would be so huge in a situation that it is quite weakened. And the same goes for the Iraqis, and Iran itself. If they want to escalate against the US bases around the Gulf, for example, then the question would be, how would those countries react? So Iran tried hard to have their support, and it worked a lot on this rapprochement with Saudi Arabia, with other countries, so it would evaporate overnight if Iran decides to do that. And finally, on the Houthis, I think they are already at full capacity in terms of what they can do, and it is not going to have a strategic impact on Israel. And on top of all this, we shouldn't forget the elephant in the room. Israel is a nuclear-armed state. So this is what matters more than many people may think, right? So if Iran responds in a way that there is a kind of significant human casualties or so on, is it not going to be the case? Is it not a plausible scenario after all Israel has done in the region, trying to assert the assumption that we have no red lines? Cannot this be the case that they may even resort to some sort of a nuclear escalation against Iran? So it's much more complex than just material capabilities that Iran might have.